Hi, welcome along to Transfer Daily, the show that takes a look at the players linked with a January transfer move to Arsenal. And we're going to kick off today with quite a big one. The Metro newspaper have put it out there that, according to them, Arsenal have made a 20 million euro bid. Sorry, a 20 million euro bid for Ilkay Gundogan. Now, Gundogan, as we all know, is a real top-class defensive midfielder, just what Arsenal needs. And the Metro put it out there today saying that Arsenal have put this bid in. Now, it's all a matter of two things. Number one, could this possibly happen? Gundogan, remember, a couple of years ago was considered to be one of the best defensive midfielders in the world, but then he got a really bad injury. I think it was like a spinal injury that he suffered, which kept him out for a whole season. He's come back this season, but still hasn't really been a regular in the Borussia Dortmund team. The Borussia Dortmund team, of course, haven't been doing very well in recent times. And it's thought that, Dortmund may be willing to sell him on. They've got other midfielders, quite a lot of other midfielders there, and it's thought that they may be willing to move him on. And Arsenal, who've been very long time admirers of Gundogan, are said to be poised to pounce, and have already put this bid in, and are going to be sitting down, according to the Metro, in the next couple of days to discuss the deal with Borussia Dortmund. So they're keen to try and make it happen. Now, as we know, this is the time to try and take advantage of a team like Dortmund, because they, of course, are a massive club, but they are really struggling this season. They're in the bottom half of the table, I think near the bottom of the table, or joint bottom of the Bundesliga. It looks like they're going to have no chance of getting Champions League. I mean, they'll struggle to even get Europa League this season. And players like Gundogan, who haven't played regularly, are on Arsenal's radar, and Arsenal definitely need a defensive midfielder. And remember, he's a defensive midfielder who is not just great at tackling and doing all the ugly stuff of the game, but he's also very, very good at passing. I mean, he just fits perfectly what Arsene Wenger would expect from that position. He'd be like what you call a real massive upgrade on Mikel Arteta. And it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with this. But the Metro very confidently predicting, according to them, that they believe that this is going to happen. We're going to have to really watch this space on that and see if it does actually go through. A player that we seem to be talking about every day throughout the summer. We were always talking, about many players, but this guy, he seems to feature every single day on Transfer Daily, and that's Christian Biek, and he's a youngster, 17 years of age, plays for Legia Warsaw. We're now hearing that this deal is on the verge of also getting done. £2.5 million, we're told. Again, a defensive midfielder, just what Arsenal need, but very, very young, very, very raw. As we know, he's only been playing his football in the Polish league for Warsaw, but he's a top prospect. Hamburg have been very interested in getting him, and have been trying to, persuade him to come over there. And it looks like that's prompted Arsenal into increasing their original offer and trying to bring him in. And a lot of reports are saying that this one will get done within the next couple of days. So we're going to have to watch this space on that one. Interesting one, this one. We've been, reports out there today about Mattia Destro. Now, again, this is another player that was linked heavily to a move to Arsenal during the summer. He plays for Roma, he's a striker, and he's put it out there that he'd like to leave Roma. He's not getting a lot of game time over there, and he would like to leave Roma, and he would like to come and join Arsenal, is what we've been told. Or it looks like his agent is putting it out there that Destro would like to move and come to one of the clubs in England, because there's been more than one club in England chasing Destro. Destro, of course, is very frustrated in that Roma team. He's having to play second fiddle to Totti, who's like the immovable object at that club. Now I think he's about 37 years of age, but still the fans' favourite. And he also playing second fiddle, and this might be worrying to a lot of Arsenal fans, playing second fiddle to Gervinho, who of course was a massive flop at Arsenal. And Destro would be very expensive as well. They say, you know, his valuation is probably about £20 million. So heavy links today with Destro to Arsenal, but I'll be honest with you, it's not one that I can see happening. As I said, Arsenal were very interested with him in the summer. That's probably the reason for the link now, but I think Arsenal are probably going to settle with the strikers that they've got at the moment, which also calls into question another player that has been linked with Arsenal. And this link has been going around since yesterday, and it's for Batafembi Gomes. Now, you all might remember him. He was the player who scored the goal against Arsenal, actually, the winning goal when Swansea beat us at the Liberty Stadium. He propped up with that header. He came with a very big reputation. I think he joined from Lyon when he went to Swansea, but hasn't really been able to get many starts because Wilfred Boney has been the main man there. But of course, Wilfred Boney is now leaving Swansea, about to join Manchester City, and Gomes might get his playing time there. But it's said that Gomes would like to move, and Gomes has put it out there and said that, my agent's been talking to many clubs, including one big club. So I think that is where the link comes in. A lot of sort of the newspapers and media outlets out there saying, all right, one big club. Well, if it's a big club, it's either got to be Chelsea. I doubt it, because they've already got loads of strikers. Manchester United, doubt it. They've got loads of strikers. Manchester City, nah, because they're about to sign Wilfred Boney. Who's the other big club? Oh, Arsenal. Right. So hence the link to Arsenal. But I can't see that one happening. And as I just said, I feel that Arsenal are probably going to stick with the striking options that they've got at the moment. And on striking options that they've got at the moment, they've got a young player at Arsenal who's they like him a lot at Arsenal. Hasn't been able to get into the first team, come off of the bench a couple of times this season, and that is Chuba Akpom. Now, Chuba Akpom, Arsenal are about to offering him a contract, a brand new contract that will time down at the club for another 3 years, which would be really nice. It'd be really nice to see one of these guys breaking through from the youth team. I mean, we've moved on Benik Afobe now, and there's been other players that have been moved on. But it looks like Arsenal got a lot of faith in this guy, Chuba Akpom. Of course, remember, I was telling you the other day about this link where Borussia Dortmund are interested in signing him. So is this a move by Arsenal to fend off those sort of interests coming from clubs abroad? But we're being told today that Chuba Akpom is going to be offered a brand new contract. And one player now that we know has definitely moved out. We spoke about it yesterday, and I did say on the show yesterday that I feel that he's going to move to Crystal Palace. It was a choice between Crystal Palace or going to Hull City, and that is Yaya Sanogo. Completed his move yesterday. Palace player until the end of the season. I liked flying around Twitter yesterday. They were saying, look at his face and look at him, the way he's holding that Crystal Palace shirt. It doesn't exactly look like he's overjoyed to be joining Palace. Listen, I hope that he makes the best of it, because it's a big opportunity for him to go to Crystal Palace, put in some great performances, really show what he can do, and then he can build his confidence up and come back. Because I do think there's a player in there somewhere, but he does need game time, and he's not going to get the game time at Arsenal. So I think this is an excellent move to get Yaya Sanogo over there at Crystal Palace, and then we'll be able to see what he can do. Let's get into a few of your comments today. Trejo Frank says Sissoko would be an ideal signing, bearing that Arteta is going to be retiring. He said would straight away fit into the starting 11. Also, Sissoko is similar to Arteta when he arrived, but stronger and faster. So that's one for Sissoko. Again, that's another player we've spoken about this week. But Sissoko or Gundogan, who would you prefer? I don't know. I mean, if we're getting the Gundogan of a couple of years ago, it'd have to be Gundogan. He'd be perfect for Arsenal. And You know, just like Harvey ZZP saying it, Sissoko's too offensive minded, and he said we've got too much of that, and I agree with that. But the good thing about Gundogan is that, as well as being a good defensive midfielder, as I said, his passing range, his skill levels are absolutely top draw. Asad El Hadi, he doesn't seem too convinced that this deal's going to come off. He said, "Come on, you guys." He said, "Wenger will never buy a central defensive midfielder this January. Our hope is that he signs a centre back as soon as possible. It could be that he just buys one player. It could be that maybe the Gundogan thing, if it does happen, could be something for the summer." But as I said, Metro reporting today very, very confidently that they think Arsenal are about to bid for him. Treasure Frank also said, can't wait to see Sonogo's debut at Palace this week. He says, do we think he'll do a better job than Shamak? I think he will, actually. I think his pace and power is going to be a real asset to Crystal Palace. I'm looking at the way they were playing last week against Tottenham, and I think he'll fit what they do perfectly. JK Essential said, I think Coquelin is doing a quality job, and definitely we won't be buying a CDM this window, and maybe we'll go for somebody in the summer. So, a bit mixed there. Gundogan, I don't know. You could be right. Coquelin has. I think what is going to be really interesting is how Coquelin plays this week against Manchester City. If he starts that game and he puts in a big performance against Manchester City, Arsene Wenger might start thinking, well, you know what? Maybe we don't need to buy a defensive midfielder. Well, at least we don't need to buy one right now. Let me wait until the summer and see what happens. I've got Arteta's probably going to come back. I've got Flamini back. I've got this kid Coquelin performing brilliantly. Let me wait and see. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens on that front. But as I said, if we did get Gundogan, he'd be perfect as well for Arsenal. If we get the Gundogan of a couple of seasons ago before he got injured, that is the question right now. Let's wait and see what happens. That's all we can do. Thanks for watching for Transfer Daily. We'll be back tomorrow at the same time. Keep subscribing to Arsenal Fan TV and keep commenting and loving all the comments. I read them every day. Loving all the comments we're getting on the Transfer Dailies. Some of the suggestions you guys are probably, what I'm going to have to do is probably make a show based off of the suggestions that you guys are making for players, because you're coming up with some real gems. Some of you should be scouts out there, trust me. Thanks for watching the show today.